Giving the highest praise. Hallelujah. Giving the highest praise. In the morning when I wake up, in the night when I wake up, I will lift up my voice to heaven and give you the highest praise. Hallelujah to my King. Hallelujah to my Father. Hallelujah to my Jesus. I bow before the throne. When I look at all the wonder and I see all the creation, the beauty of the universe, you never, never change. You never, never lie. You never, never change. You never, never change. Hallelujah to my Jesus. Hallelujah. 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 Hey, hey. Hallelujah. Hey. Giving. Hallelujah. Hey. The highest praise. Hallelujah. Hey. Giving the highest praise. Hallelujah. Hey. Giving the highest praise.
I'm afraid, Jehovah. Come and worship Jehovah. It is of the prison. Come the prison. It is of everything. The worshiping. Oh, He gave me life. I will praise His name. I'm here to praise my God because He gave me life. Come celebrate, come today, come and worship Him. He deserves the praise. Hallelujah, giving the higher praise. Hallelujah, giving the higher praise.
Hallelujah. Giving. Hallelujah. The highest praise. Hallelujah. Giving the highest praise. Hallelujah. Giving the highest praise. Ooh, hallelujah.
Centennial. Okay. Good evening, folks. Welcome. I'm Afonso Z, and so to the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. As usual, we want to welcome our viewers and listeners. Hopefully, my audio is good. Let us unfold it and join later. We all going to have this conversation here as usual. We've been slacking down with the time here. A lot is unfolding, so we got to catch up as well. Both from the family lines and other things that we have to do. All right, now we're standing to try to do the best we can to always bring you up to speed on news, making headlines. Those are all we discuss and right here on LPR. That is the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. We want to welcome all of our viewers and listeners across the globe, right here in the US and other parts of the world, no matter where you are. This is an open outlet that we give people the opportunity to express his or her view, but also cognizant of the fact that civility is at all times must be maintained on this network. And this is our hallmark. This is our yardstick. Disagree with me, you can rebuke me, you can call me unempathic, or I'm biased, or my analysis is not objective. Whatever it is, that's just not a problem. That's your view, that's your opinion. And that's what we should value in our social, political, or intellectual discourse. There's a reason when somebody or someone object to another person's views and opinion. I can question your views, I can question your opinion, but probably we can have a civil conversation thereby with the sole purpose to find solutions to what is unfolding in our country or whatever incident or what I'm hoping to express. But we'll begin to question people's views and opinion. That is wrong. Opinions is not a fact. then we are not providing that plain level fee for us to have a genuine and authentic conversation. So we must call the people who must allow people to make use of their voices. Nothing is that so sounds stupid, even though there are some ridiculous comments when it comes, and some are done out of ignorance. And we must be able to provide a means to also get them more informed. Don't blame them for what they are doing. It's because you just see it from the surface and it sounds like a goal. So they just thought that's what the news is. But they are real news and they are subliminal news and they are propaganda and they are entertainment, all of them been broken down. We consider them as news. But what is in the content of the news, what is embedded in the news is what is news. I am Alfonso Z, and so let's get started. Our senior contributor, the Liberal is on the run, by the way. He's not going to show face here tonight because I forgot. I don't know why I told him things that we're going to talk about. So guess what? He gave an excuse. He want to work 3 o'clock in the morning. And he not able, he let's say inside somebody pour Gary, that ain't pour saying in the Gary, the pour Gary in his eye. So he called just in the dying minute, baby crying. I can't come on tonight. And then when you ready, my he not feeling anybody more. Somebody he not feeling more. Folks, welcome. Let's get a conversation going. And hopefully we're going to have an open conversation. Yeah, there are a lot of crazy things ongoing. Let's get the ball rolling. Okay, good evening and welcome. Before I bring in my guest, a lot been going on. Former President Helen Johnson Sirleaf has created a political satire, or whatever it is. The interpretations out there in the corridors varies depending who you talk to and how they perceive it to be. We're going to be talking about demonstrations, and I do have interest, of course, taking a look at this whole Princess cohort. Not much. Is it the end of the story? It's like when you open a Coke and then it comes out and then everything quiet then? And are we in the media also doing enough to dig enough to ask these critical questions? It sometimes becomes volatile and consequential because it's human life and sentiment, emotion seems to surpass our conversation. But are we having enough conversation? Courtesy of our sister network, the African Star newspaper. Editorial. We're going to be playing the African Star editorial, and I'm going to be breaking Amos George, our senior analyst, right here, including you yourself. We're going to jointly have this conversation here today on all of the crazy and good things that are ongoing. There are some good things, there are some bad things. I don't know. There's no specific data to say the good supersede the bad supersede the thing. But we'll always be expressing our views and opinions on some of these things here, which, of course, you have the absolute right to do it because these are things that we see visually. These are things that we see either by image or something, some sort of interpretations in the context of news. Through courtesy of the African Star newspaper, so let's have this editorial here. And we want to get right to the talking point here this evening. And I'm going to be bringing Mr. Eamon George. I'm Alfonso Z, and so stay tuned.
An African Star editorial entitled, Liberians and the International Community Must Hold President Weah Accountable to End Corruption. Liberians are beside themselves at a new low in the country. The lack of reliable power at the country's international gateway, known as Roberts International Airport, RIA. Local media and international travelers have reported in recent times of the lack of power at the state-run facility at nighttime. The resulting consequence has been the inability of international aircrafts to safely operate at the RIA, abrupt cancellation of some flights, and in one instance, the pullout or curtailment of flights by the international carrier Air France. Over the weekend, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who spoke at the funeral of former interim President Dr. Amos Sawyer, threw a jibe at the Weir administration when in remarks she said, quote, "I received many calls from colleagues, many of whom had intended to be here. Sometimes I wonder, maybe RIA was dark," unquote. The remark was made in the presence of President George M. Weir, Vice President Jewel Howard Taylor, House Speaker Buford Chambers, and Foreign Minister D. Maxwell Kimaya, and other government officials in attendance. Observers saw the jibe as an indictment of incompetence and poor performance of the incumbent Weir government. As can be expected, Liberians are already witnessing the blame game of who is responsible for the long deterioration of various systems in the country. African Star holds the view that it is totally inexcusable for the main gateway to the West African country to be this poorly operated and thereby reflect on the already tainted image of the government, which has shown no urgency in addressing deteriorating governance and infrastructure. We remind Liberians again that international partners, including the United States and the European Union, have consistently called out the government of Liberia to address its performance issues and the scourge of pervasive corruption whose consequences are affecting all sectors, including the smooth operation of the RIA, which should represent the first impression of the country for international travelers and even desperately needed investors who may want to travel to Liberia to scout for opportunities. Last week, a former U.S. ambassador to Liberia and current U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Madam Linda Thomas Greenfield, spoke at a virtual event to commemorate 200 years of U.S.-Liberia ties and said, quote, "Liberia has a serious problem right now, and that's taking on a number of issues. Foremost among them is the issue of corruption. And this is an issue that we are seeing across the board, not just in Liberia, but in other places. And for me, corruption is an act of robbery, plain and simple. It's a cancer in our societies. It is the government stealing from the people of Liberia, from the mouths of children. It takes away access to health care. It denies citizens their right to public safety. It stops young people of Liberia from getting the education they deserve. It takes the future away from them. It prevents the country from having the healthy business environment that it needs to lift Liberians out of poverty. It has denied Liberia its place in history, a successful and prosperous country with so many resources to contribute to its people's well-being," unquote. The U.S. UN Ambassador, Madam Thomas Greenfield, was honest and forthright in her characterization of corruption, and her remarks followed that of the American Ambassador in Monrovia, Michael McCarthy, in recent musings on state of governance in Liberia, when he said, quote, "The U.S. government is sufficiently concerned about corruption in Liberia to sanction individuals. Corruption leads to citizens' frustration and has had destabilizing effects on countries in the region. It poses significant risk to peace and democracy," unquote. A U.S. presidential assistant, Ms. Dana Banks, who represented President Joseph Biden at the celebration program of Liberia's bicentennial, did not mince words when she openly told the Liberian president and his government to their faces before thousands of citizens in February that, Quote, like many democracies, Liberia still has work to do to seriously address and root out corruption. We bring this up as your friends who are eager to help. Corruption is an act of robbery. It robs Liberian citizens of access to health care, to public safety, to education. It robs you of the healthy business environment we all know Liberia could have, which could lift countless Liberians out of poverty. It subverts economic opportunity, exacerbates inequality, and erodes integrity. It eats away at the democracy you have worked so hard to build, unquote. It is obvious that the we administration is not listening to the prodding of the international partners who provide millions of their taxpayers' monies to Liberia for the benefit of citizens, or that the government simply does not care about the lives of Liberians who are facing grinding poverty, high unemployment, and lack of opportunities. Corruption remains the template for the business of governance, and there is no doubt that the lack of smooth operation of the international airport is the direct consequence of lack of accountability, incompetence, and economic depravity. The issue of the lack of power at the RIA is a national embarrassment and a safety risk. Indeed, African Star can confirm that what is happening at the Roberts International Airport is pervasive across key Liberian institutions like the Water and Sewer Corporation and the John F. Kennedy Medical Center, where critically needed medical facilities are lacking, in the country's school system, where academic performances have reached their lowest ebb, and others. Indeed, the international community, including the US government and the European Union, have an obligation to highlight corruption in Liberia because serious aid funding may be landing into the bank accounts of Liberian government officials and their apologists at the expense of the people. The negative impact of corruption under the weird government is crystal clear. Public sector workers are going for months without receiving the monthly salary checks, while the 1% of the country's leadership is enriching themselves with construction of luxurious private homes and cars, expensive vacations, while ordinary Liberians cannot afford a decent meal a day. Corruption is legally and morally wrong, and this insensitivity must end. African Star is urging President Weir to lead from the front and demonstrate seriousness in governance and performance and not just offer fancy speeches. Leadership of Liberia must harness and exploit the collective talent of all Liberians and not just loyalists from the ruling party. Liberia deserves better, and deflecting responsibility for the ugly situation at the RIA is just more of the same poor system of governance. This must change now. We at the African Star will continue to use our platform to call for reform in the corrupt practices of the weird government, as we have done to previous Liberian administrations, so that the change that President Weir promised Liberians during the campaign will materialize and elevate the condition of ordinary citizens. After all, Liberians must muster the courage to hold President Weir and the CDC government accountable to halt corruption and mismanagement for the prosperity of all Liberians and Liberia. We therefore challenge all Liberians to join the international community in holding President George M. Weah accountable to halt corruption and increase efficiency in government. This editorial represents the view of the editorial board of African Star.
All right, good evening, good evening. Welcome. That's the editorial from our sister news outlet. That's the African Start newspaper, the only print electronic news right here in the USA. So my man Amos George is here, but before then, let me bring my darling girl. She observed her birthday today. After feeling getting her saying we ain't even here for it. What did I do after the me? That's how that little blessings. I was in Liberia. The court I play somewhere around Summer Striker there, some kind of bar, same bar, whatever she said she wanted extra. And that was some little bit quality time. And I want to thank all of those who commented on the post today. But guess what? Let me break in per George. Yeah. Okay, so Mr. Immigrant, I do, get it when they list off, they will talk to you next day, but when
Oh
they,
yeah.
when that same wave or whatever wave they're gone, let us have fun. Okay, so Mr. George, good evening and welcome as usual. This is what we do, all of our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I want to also acknowledge, all of them precious, wonderful people. They took up their time to come here. Not that they are less busy, because they also want to know what's going on in their neighborhoods or in their country, in their backyard, and all of that. This is why we are very careful in our talking point here. We try to maintain civility. Let me welcome someone here special to is a young scholar. He served as the president of the Liberian students in Morocco. He stood when the students were in a tough time. He plays a leadership role. Student John Singbe. And I saw the post. I'm hearing that they are trying to the students in Morocco, and I got to reach out to them. They are trying to organize, establish something to have some sort of online French tutorial. You see, this is why it's good to invest in the young generation. Amos George is of an age. I am just yesterday, day before yesterday, 56. Cannot want to be or push to be like John Singbe. It doesn't make sense.
No.
People who needs to retire, they need to retire and give the young generation a chance in order to lead. And this is not happening. They want to lake until they get their tongue to their elbow, or want to act like a cockroach. When the dirty dishes in the kitchen will go there, all the oil pan, it will go there. But guess what? It will still be on the hunt to find the oil barrel. And what happens at the end of the day, it will get drowned in the oil. It's crazy. Okay, so Mr. George, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So that is ongoing. The media is a very strategic and good component of society building. And this is why sometimes I find it very hard to understand when there is a sort of misunderstanding, when people think they want to get back at the media. They are gifts to people. Okay, by the way, that was the views and opinions by the editorial, and you heard that of African Star. But the word choices are very, very strategic. And they can use your own word and magnify it or bring it into reality to make a genuine case. And it's left for you, me, and ordinary people to decide. And the good thing, I thought we were going to say only the we are government, but that's something they have been doing in the past. So more or less, objectivity is there. But however, I am not one going to put a lock on it to say the editorial is objective. It must be analyzed by other people differently, because we all have, or people have their own political government. But this editorial is being directed of the recent incident at the Roberts International Airport. And what they did, they decided to grab other pieces, other puzzles, and put them together to make a logical sense and make the case, citing instances and some of the things. Corruption. What is the identity of corruption? I know it's a crazy and insane question. What is the identity of corruption? Do you know? Does a wear coat suit, African share, propose suit, or corruption? We've been talking about this thing over and over. It reminds me of my late grandmother. One time I was in a village, and for those EABC, EAW, and things that reach over. And then for every time a leadership been paying keen attention, the person now give government money, you. Government now arrest this person, you. So she asked me, said, but who is this government? Is it an old lady or old man? Where the government, the government person give money, money. So let's have a conversation here.
Yeah.
Let me think hypothetical. Yeah, let's have a little conversation here. What is the definition of corruption? How do we understand it? Can we identify it? Is it abstract? Is it concrete? What the hell is it? Because we've been hearing this corruption all over, and I'm trying to. How long can we talk about this?
Let me put it in a way. Yeah, it's not abstract so because you can see it. You can see the effect of it. You can see it. It's not abstract because abstract is something that you can't see.
Yes.
But this thing you can see the effect of it.
You
can see it. You can see it. What it does to people. You see it. The effect of it. So it's not abstract. You can see it. The product of corruption, you can see it everywhere.
It's in Lpr.
It's pervasive or systemic. It is. Look, Mr. So, in Liberia, we have to change the mindset of everybody,
including yourself,
including myself. The children in the street, you buy some meat, they don't want to give you the change. They want to dupe you.
They will turn their back in alley. They are so much.
Our part, I forgot. So you see that this thing have got into the fabric of the society. Everybody, what we are entangled into this thing here.
Any justifiable excuse for corruption? Can we do a selection?
Oh,
can
yeah.
I be corrupt and the other person shouldn't be corrupt? We shouldn't talk about it, or can we just generally talk about it that corruption is totally dishonest, being dishonest? Or should we give other people free pass or check?
No.
What and other folks are ready to Brian, welcome.
No, and that's why some other people have power because people want to feel that when certain people are doing certain things, that's when we talk about. When other people are not do it, we should not talk about them. Then we give an excuse to them. And that's why some of us come in to say, no. If you were there, you did not perform, you stole from the people. Not because you are not there, but you contributed. You deprive people.
There's a backlash. There was always a justification from me, from you, from followers. Okay, Amos George was in Unity Party government.
Yeah.
Amos did whatever he did. Unity Party partisan came out in total and comprehensive defense of Amos George. Amos did it at that time because XYZ wasn't good. But see what is happening. Bringing the past into reality and trying to get Amos George out of the picture and just bringing in Alfonso. So is that how we going to subdue or eradicate corruption? Or we should deal with it realistically, openly, honestly, genuinely in order to have a face? But we've been a little bit selective in our talking point.
We should deal with realistically, holistically approaching from every angle of our society. And yeah, because here's the thing. And that is the power we're having today in Liberia. And I will ask you this question. If I'm part of a system, I'm part of Lpr, and there are things that are happening in Lpr, I said, well, I don't want to be part of it. I will not talk, but I'm not taking anything from now. I will just be here. Am I helping that system? No. Or the people that benefit from that system, am I helping them? No. If it is going, I do not want to be part of it, I must tell the people, hey, you know what? This point it has reached. Because it's going this way, please, I'm leaving. But I remain silent. Get all the benefit from Lpr. The way that I say, well, me, I don't like corruption business. But what they're doing to bring in money and other things, I'm receiving the money. But I say, hey, it's not me who's doing that. The other people doing that. I'm just benefiting from it. So tomorrow I will say, oh no, I worked there, but I wasn't corrupt. There are people who are doing it. But I received the benefit.
Shifting the way of you being part of the problem.
Yes.
I know that my benefit you mean, so
Yes.
I took it away.
But you know very well the way it's coming is not right. I'm receiving salary that is astronomical. I ride a car that is very expensive.
So
But I said, I started buying it.
You're digging a lot of things up here.
The office, my office supposed to, that what the office gave me, so I would take it. But you know, the other people there are suffering.
Yeah,
and
okay.
We're
gonna make it more interactive here.
Yeah.
Because I've been saying it from time to time. Politicians living, breathing with all their pause and everything. I do not trust them. I do not believe them. All of them, they are just who they are. And that's what I kept saying on this network. Nobody is talking for me. My mouth is big wide enough. I will talk for myself because it's just so most of the time when they are out of office, then they see the wrongness in the system. Then their mouth will start running like a little chihuahua, sharp, like a cutting edge. But when they are in a system, everything normal, cool, calm. But when they get out of the playing field, then let's see here what our own man Eduardo is saying here, and we're going to be bringing other comments here as well, and we can take a ton of point. He said, for one, put blames on 3 institutions in society. And this is the beauty I love about this network, because our guys they are so brilliant, their thoughts, their arguments, so thoughtful, seasoned, persuasive, and all of that. Let's see those institutions that he has identified. The religious communities, 2, educational institutions, and the government of Liberia. Another point to consider is that most Liberians are not appreciative or showing ownership to Liberia. Whether in government or outside of government, everyone seems to protect their own clean clothes, rules. Ooh, do I load? Don't. So, the society is opening up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to be more or less interactive, have a normal conversations with all of these things here. And now I said we need to get this thing out of the hands of the politician, because all of the statements are political correctness statement, come and just kind of salad dress it, give it a good structure, give it a David, how to call it, wedding plate, David Brother wedding dress, and all of that kind of stuff. They don't tell us what is real. They don't tell us, they come and tell us one thing, but when they are being entrusted with state power, it becomes different thing. And there are a lot of components responsible for all of that, because they are going into the system. If you're never working government before, when you work in government, I mean, it's a sort of, it's a system by itself. And when you go there, I don't care, you want to perfect, you want to change things, there will be other people there who will be fighting you. The system is because the system is being corrupt. It has been corrupted for years, for ages. And Amos George Eduardo coming from the United States and want to go change things overnight. Guess what? Who they want here? What do you think? I mean, you're baking, how long can John stay in army? It's difficult. So look at this. Let me get a pick on those points Eduardo just outlined here. The institutions, in his views, that are not doing what they should be doing or are responsible for all of these ills that we are having in society. Let me see. I can put it back here again. 1, religious community. What the clergy men got to do with this? What they should be doing, the religious communities?
Normally, the religious community, they are there to guide society. to remind society
of
wrongdoing, how to treat your fellow men. But if the religious community reduce themselves, start to align with government, then of course they
begin to administer holy oaths on politicians.
They cannot protect the society again. I can give you references. There was a reverend, I think it should be of the Baptist church. Tell me something. I think Peter Emajo, I think so, said that reverend.
Yeah.
When we were growing in Morovia, Sunday evening, because they used to have their pre-broadcast, really in the evening. People used to blue. The late Bishop Brown, the late Bishop Michael Francis, the late Wilhelmina Dukley. These people, when they used to speak, you see, it claimed the attention of people. But look at today. I'm not saying what maybe there was something, but these people, they have some value that they were holding fast to, that they could tell the leader, they could speak to the country at a certain point in time and say, hey, this is not a direction. But today, the religious community in Liberia has changed, completed. You saw one time the bishop said that if you don't accept person, you will pray for God to punish you, something like that. How can a bishop speak that in a society? Because you used to hear when they said the Liberian Council of Churches, Mr. So, you know those days, the power that institution had at the time, it was because the people that was in that leadership demonstrated something called integrity. You may have this one something, but they demonstrated something that when they spoke, the country was listening. That the bishop spoke about this issue. Today, how many bishops in Liberia that can speak to claim the attention of the community? You can't find them today because the people mind have been said now that all these people have been compromised. They want to be with the president. They want to go see the president. They want to go ask for this. We're having this prayer. This senator gave us this. Come on. You are not using that institution to benefit yourself and selling the principles that govern that institution. This is why you see when he mentioned, the religious community are fully responsible. The Christian people to go ask the president, the government for this. The Muslim community, I'm sorry, trying to bury matter, they want these people to exist. Come on. If you put yourself in that position, this man gave you this, he gave you that. For heaven's sake, how can you call that man to check, to say, hey, this thing you're doing is not the way that it should be done. You can't make it again because what? You are not being compromised. And that is the role the religious community is not playing today. You talk about ills. Who's supposed to talk about ill in your society? The religious people are supposed to speak, the bishop is supposed to speak about ill. How to treat your fellow citizens. When children are going hungry, and you see one or two persons having everything, and they say everything is okay, but the bishop cannot call on government to say, hey, you have a responsibility to take care of your citizens. What is going on? Oh, you don't hear it today. They are more now in politics and using the congregation to get to enriching themselves. because the IC people, when they say pay tithe, boop, people are paying all the money. But do they really understand how some of these people are surviving? How many of the bishops know the name of ordinary people in the churches or in the mosque? How many of them can ask?
Welcome in the house. Okay, let me intrude you a little bit and keep the conversation going. We want to welcome Mananamolut also in Liberia. Look, let's come to what is happening here. Helen Johnson Sirleaf, the former president. All right, we're going to be picking the eggs here and there.
Yeah.
We saw what happened last week.
Yeah.
And they were at a funeral of concomitant soil. You know, concomitant soil.
Yeah.
That was the word he injected
During the
international assembly.
Yeah.
The guy put a book to use, and he brought that word, and it twisted everybody's mind. He knows very well two things could not happen at the same time, simultaneously at a time during the heat of it. You're talking about disarmament, and you want the election, you want to do this. So Amos Sawyer cleverly, strategically, politically put that when they were in their car. He wanted to be done concomitantly.
Yeah.
How the hell those things going to happen? That's
but
how that was to stay on to state power, because there was no way ECOWAS could have even implemented that sort of a call. So he did. Okay. The Open Gone Home Peace Story Arches. Helen Johnson Sirleaf. Boom, politicians, they are satire as they always make fun. But let's see what she said. We listened to that little clip at that time. In reality or politically, what was she saying? What you sense out?
That was just to re-echo what we have been seeing. That was an indictment.
So, let me say, are you saying, is that your understanding or what?
Yes, Mr. So, listen, it's not me, because when I say it, and people will say, "Whoa, listen to me." But when former president of any country, but this one we're talking about Liberia, she used those words that people are supposed to come, but because they lied, I think our makes people didn't come.
Was she speaking in a literary context? Was there sort of counsel that she was providing to the government? Say, are you going to express your view? And we're going to open the line. I'm asking this. I always like to think out of the box. I'm a free thinker. Was there a sort of counsel that she was providing to the president? Was she doing the government, the CDC, government goal? Was it something that maybe they have had these conversations behind off camera? And Helen Johnson Sirleaf, being a seasoned person, just this whole thing came as a perfect storm to say, let me put this thing out here. Probably I've been talking behind the scene, and you're not, or someone is not listening to me. Was it damaging to the government? Her statement there, how is it saying? Let's look at the long-term or short-term goal. What was she saying to really? When Helen Johnson Sirleaf herself, if you ask her, she will give interpretation of a word. We're going to be in a speculative mode of what gets into what she was talking about.
Yeah, that, Mr. So, it was an indictment on the government. Incompetent. The government is incompetent. That's what she was trying to say. Just put it that phrase. Here is the thing. Helen Johnson Sirleaf, when I sit on the couch and have an ordinary conversation, she was to the homegoing of former interim president, Dr. Amos Sawyer. Funeral, she was there, and she made her remarks. She didn't, it was not on the couch. She said people were supposed to come, but because probably no light, they couldn't come. That was a direct shot.
Do you think she was speaking out of reality or was trying to?
She's speaking out of frustration.
Political drama to get some sort of attention in the news cycle.
She was speaking out of frustration. Yeah, it's the frustration. And the last one I said it, because this is not the first incident, Mr. So, at that airport. So when she made that statement, Mr. So, when I say it's a further indictment on the government, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was carried weight. When she made that statement, it's not just to Liberians in the country, it's to foreign partner. Just as the former president. Like it or not, highly respected.
Do you think somebody called her after that? Do you think there was a phone call placed, supposedly? You think so?
People will call her, people will answer.
No, I mean from India, from the Bear Wheel, from within the GOL. Do you think there was a phone call?
No.
Maybe higher up?
No. They will not call her. That statement hidden. It's hidden. If I mean who made it, people will laugh. But when Ellen Johnson
Can they get back? Can they get back her?
Look, let me say this to people, and I will say, like it or not, Ellen, she has a weight in Africa and the world. What can President Weirden do to get her off? These people are weak. They cannot do anything to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. What they want is not for her to talk. Because when she talks, people listen.
Okay.
That is the problem.
Okay. Helen Johnson Sirleaf, in your words, she got a weight. That weight is in an extension, comes presidential elections, where people listen to her, where the Helen syndrome factor into the election. And this is where the former ruling party, Unity Party, is at a crossroad. And they are always in perfect denial, and we human beings naturally. Unity Party too, there is a Helen Johnson faction wing. Helen Johnson Sirleaf does not like Ambassador Boyka. Go or come down. It's glaring, it's visible, it's saying her language, her tone. Even though Ambassador Boyka was that her birthday? Ambassador Boyka went to speaker, trying to solidify, that base. That it's not going to hold. There's something much deeper that we do not know. There are a lot of saying here when it comes to Helen Johnson Sirleaf and Ambassador Boyka. And it is very unusual when you put on a general scale where a person who served for 12 years as an undone person in government, first of all, you must confide into that person to be your principal deputy, your political philosophy, and everything must be embedded. And that's how kind of make the pick. And so it takes us back to the question, how Helen Johnson Sirleaf picked Ambassador to Boyka. What was the situation at the time then and now, or what has changed? And Helen did not extend that white flag, that ECOMA flag or United Nations flag to Ambassador Boyka. Instead, she came right here, almost near within the proximity of Trump Tower, and said, we need a generational change.
Yeah.
That was the turning point of the whole Boyka presidency right there. I'm not sure whether the Boyka folks understood that politically, the long-term implications at the time ahead of that. I'm not sure whether they grabbed that concept or they were still dancing around Helen Johnson Sirleaf. Well, Helen Johnson Sirleaf factor in comes this 2023 presidential election. I'm not saying the government coming back forcefully, but I can remember one of the incidents. The government came back. What was that? You remember there were what was some sort of crazy word, politicians. Somebody might help me as some kind of word was used, and I think it was a Samuel Tour or somebody came back. But quickly to the point. Will she be a factor?
She will be a factor if she's living. Let me say this to people. We all got problem, will have issue with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. But you should not lose sight that there are people in Liberia that love her.
Okay.
And secondly, you talk about Joseph Boakai. This guy, Amara Kone. One time, Amara Kone, I think was last, I came across the piece he wrote about Joseph Boakai. He said they thought there was issue between Ellen and Joseph Boakai, and they asked Joseph Boakai, what he had or how he was feeling or whatnot. And this guy said Joseph Boakai made a laundry list. And he said he was shocked at this guy. And he said, oh no, there's no need for discussion because this kind of thing, this man talking, And what, I don't know, the Boakai folks failed to realize, Ellen Johnson tell you today, made some people today, and those people will ever remain loyal to her that she died. She made some guys in Liberia, they are out and some are there. She made it. And those people remain loyal to her.
Yeah, like slow number then. Those guys were here. Helen Johnson asked them to return home.
All the guys. She brought a guy and put them, send them to school.
Are they indebted to her, or they should be to the country, or it's just a mere politics?
No, listen, first thing, the country, but you cannot forget someone that assisted you to get from point A to point B. You can't forget those people. Because if it wasn't for Ellen Johnson to sell it, how do you think American would have become minister? How do you think Gafon would have become minister? All these guys. She was the one. So yeah, they got all Liberia, but they owe her also.
Does that make the case of a statement here about generational change because she brought young people into equivalent to that?
Yeah, the generation change because she knew she and Boakai was not on the same footing. And she did not want Boakai to be the leader. That was that. And it will show her again in this election, Mr. So, she would not support Joseph Boakai.
Is that what you're hearing?
Oh, Mr. So, I have spoken to people. And you know what happened? Yeah. Some people don't know this thing. There were names of 4 persons that Ellen Johnson recommended to Boakai to be VP. He snuffed all the 4 people and went and made a pronouncement, not even telling them. That's how behind the scene that blood is. But some people don't, so many people just talk. Someone was in the campaign.
Okay, Mr. Agzi Harris here is asking a critical question here. And I made an attempt the last time. Hopefully, maybe next time I will go. But Helen Johnson Sirleaf is a very calculative and seasoned person. You saw what happened with that. But this is what Mr. Harris is saying. The question is why does she not like Mr. Boycott, which is a technical $10 million question. Have we taken the time to dig deeper enough? Let's not forget Ambassador Boycott presided over the expulsions of Helen Johnson from the party. She challenged Dent in court and won. A lot of bad blood here, folks. You see what I told you about people that here? You don't lie to LPR of folks here. They do also their research, of course. That blood, I even know what there's any other word that we can use that, Mr. Harris. 100% agree. Helen Johnson Sirleaf does not let go easily. It's not a. What I don't understand, some of the folks that we heard certain thing, but she's not like those Chinese show we used to way back. Roxy, Gabriel, Abu Kiri used to be one of the probably when the one fight. It's Helen Johnson Sirleaf is not a politician type. And I agree with Mr. Sirleaf. There's something much deeper that we need to know. And the speculations is just why. We don't know whether she got that audio from the shelf, how news outlet can buy stuff here. When there's some news, the Washington Post, New York Times, or some other post, get it, or when it's alarming one to buy and get it off the shelf. we learned that there was some remarks, there was some sort of a conversation, I think, behind the scene when he, Ambassador Boycott, sources more a little familiar with this whole Boycott and Helen thing here, were made specifically to call for the comprehensive audit. And maybe some people who have gone to jail if Boycott has won. I don't know how it was expressed, in what context, what was the tone, what was the language, how many times, if it is true. But if that is true, and somebody left within that corridor who also wanted political favor, remember Bassanga, Finlet, and all of that, there were people that he was putting forward and they were rejected. And we can vividly say it, she pivoted. We are talking about this because we are trying to find solution, how all of these things comes about. And then it brings us to the point when CDC won, people were asking to stay on. That was quite interesting because it was glaring most likely CDC were leading for victory. And in anything, you reach a certain stage, you begin to have a skeleton thing. And there are strategic people you can position if you're going for a race. By the time you get it, you get those people rolling while other pick is going on. Right? You have a Minister of Foreign Affairs, you have a Minister of Finance, you have a Minister of State, you have a what? There are other strategic, you have the Minister of National Defense, Chief of Staff, because those or less are hurricane to the people that you confide in. But we allow some key guy within the Helen government, they were asked to stay on, and they attached some kind of name hook to it. And some of those people, they are still there. Are they a watchdog for Helen Johnson Sirleaf? Are those people that are keeping the torch of Helen Johnson Sirleaf running? Because remember
take for example,
Mo said Sirleaf was been behind the bar, behind the rusted nail. We're yet to see that, but these are all political.
Take for example, Eugene Nambe. He was at information, and later on he's saying to Maritana, "You are from Ellen." Those are people Ellen asked for them to stay on. So you see, so politics is very deep. Assurance is important. I'll talk to somebody, and they say, she did ask Honorable Boycott a specific question. I don't know what is true, but these are people who are in the camp.
There are a lot of conversation. It was tense.
Yes. And it said that Ambassador Boycott's answer was not definite to her. So that was a turning point to say for her. I think you remember one time President Weah spoke during the campaign that he will protect President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and her family. The tape is there. In one of the camp, President Weah then campaigning.
In what context he was speaking? Can you make a guess?
Now, but that is to tell you, Mr. So, what prompted him to take that risk to say, hey, I will protect the president and her family. It just came from the blue sky? No. People have to sit down and listen to in this politics, when certain things people are saying, you have to sit down and try to read between the lines. What prompted our then president, our candidate at the time, to make that statement? And again, the press they never want the question on him, and he's not available most of the time. So nobody ever questioned him why he made that statement at the time. So you can see there was some wrangling going on between them. And Ambassador Boycott distanced himself from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So That all did not help him. And today, but when you talk to the folks on the camp will tell you, oh, there's nothing like that. But there is a division within that United Party. The early wing is there, but they are quiet. They're waiting for time.
Is he alive still? Are they waiting for, will they do damage to Unity Party?
Yes.
So then who the benefits?
Oh, Mr. So, they say, well, what you sow is what you reap. Because
no, I mean generally for the process. If Unity Party, I mean, it's glaring, it's fractured as well, even though he has not come out in the open. But if Helen Fox comes out and explore it, I'm asking holistically, who does it benefit?
Well, it other benefit, it will benefit other political institutions. It will be the ruling party. It will be other institutions that will benefit from it.
Are the other parties or the opposition, are they taking a strategic approach into all of these things here in the past? Are they sitting down to kind of like wrap this thing around their head and say, hey, we Liberian people perhaps see it as an alternative? I'm not saying all, but they are on a base or whatever it is. But see what we are having with this whole sort of quote syndrome that is going on, bad morphing to one another. You know, it's the opposition. Are they ready to make the case to the Liberian people to draw that parallel line? This is who we are. This is what we represent. What the two offers, that has been watered down. Period. Nothing about that. How can they rebrand this whole conversation for some of us?
You see,
yes,
rebranding is very important. And right now, it is just difficult for the opposition. Because
when you say difficult, what is the meaning of that difficult? What is the interpretation? What are you referring to?
Mr. So, here is it. The United Party, you don't see them to say the moving. They don't have a I would say they don't have a definite position right now. All it's saying is in the mouth. They live in the CPP. But there are other clauses within the CPP that issue has not yet been settled. Then the Labour Party is on the other side. Then again, you have the LP with the ANC in court. And look at what is playing in Monrovia today. I know you saw the court today when the lawyers came from the court. You saw what happened. You see what is happening. So the opposition is seriously being injured right now.
Are they aware of that?
They are aware of it.
Okay, let's take a quick break and we'll be back. I am Afonso Ziensot, and our senior political analyst, Mr. Amos George, is based in Atlanta, Georgia. The Lpr is on the run this evening. He's not here. We'll be right back.
You've worked for months to bring your or your client's event to life, but unfortunately, the world had another plan. In reality, the only thing you lost is the venue. We take your vision for hosting a virtual conference and bring it to life online. No matter how complex your agenda is, we produce a smooth, engaging experience. Call the Liberia Public Radio today and schedule your event. Our number is 682-433-8802. If you prefer to submit your request via email, please send the request to liberiapublicradio2012@gmail.com. Our staff are standing by waiting for your phone call.
Lpr, just in case you're having a function, it doesn't matter where you are, we have the ability to capture and bring your concert or your event live via social media and globally to where it will be viewed. You can call 682-433-8802 and we can do that. Even if you have a business entity you want to do some promotions, of course, you can do that. Let's come to, we're going to be picking here and there. It's open here, all things considered. So we're going to be picking this thing. Look, let me bring her here. Much is not been said of lately. I'm not sure, there's no officials. This young lady, too much is out there. Speculation, hyperbole, innuendos, stories, and all of that. How can this be settled? And I think I'm not sure whether we in the media industry, but it's because of the sensitivity of it at the time. And all of us, we are human beings, and sometimes having these sort of critical conversations within our community is a little bit challenging because they are sensitive issues. But I'm wondering whether we have asked all of the tough questions as well. The phone call to the friend, how that came into place, why that friend was so much confide into her. And if, like we heard from the doctor, if she confides into that friend, can we then draw a conclusion that our friend didn't have an idea at all where she was going, who she was perhaps going to talk to? I'm concerned. I'm a free thinker. Her fiancé, the doctor, while the phone call was in place to the family, and all of that. I mean, how it happens? The government needs to do her part. Investigators needs to do everything possibly they can to settle the score. When she got at the scene, who were the people that received her? How she ended up being where they found her? Was there anything offered in the interim when she arrived? I know the sun is freaking crazy hot in the country. And believe me, by the time you in an AC car, when you get us, it's like somebody open an oven. The very first thing you want to do, you know, sometimes dehydration, all of that, you want to put some sort of liquid in the system. But when will we really know? How can this come to a rest? What something happened? It's not automatic. It left from Capitol Hill, whether it's a keke or coco or motorbike or taxi, whatever it is, phone call came in. Somebody prompted that. And she went. Nothing happened in Roost. There was no accident. There was nothing. And assuming that entered this facility, how she entered, what happened, what not happened. But the idea there was a call. And the purpose of a call to either talk to somebody or maybe invite to have a conference. I want to talk, Mr. George. Can we meet this evening or this time? There's a reason. Why is it difficult that we can get answer up to this time?
And you see, there are many layers of this case here, and it's not been from small approach. It's not being handled properly. It was not handled, and it's not. And we can say all these things, but there are only certain people that is close with the authority to handle this case. They have the power to invite anybody they want to. Which is
this? I don't want to be judgmental here. This is not our style. Is this case being contaminated already, based on what we know and the way dragging? But investigation also, fair to mention, it takes time for investigation to be fully concluded. But what is troubling is the quick decision by the deputy police chief or police spokesperson to say there was no. I really want to have the opportunity to talk to him. I don't want to use his word. He can better interpret what he says and what his words are. That has not worked. We're still reaching out. Hopefully, he will answer all day. Is that what really he said, or was he joshing, or was he giving? Making a statement based on what they know at the time.
He said.
And so, why? Yeah, okay.
But yeah, yes, the thing is so. Even as much as this country is so advanced, when things like that, so many things happen, some of the crimes that take place here, They don't just come up within 24 hours and say, no, no fireplace. If they tell you, they will tell you based on what they have done, that they believe, based on these elements, there's no fireplace.
If and if is that what he said, and he was if and if I'm saying if because I like to get it from himself, and he was conclusive. Can he come back to polish it to reconstruct it? Would that people will listen to that?
No, and that's why I said the last time from the beginning that that statement alone put the government credibility at stake with the citizen again.
Okay, let me put a number out here, and we'll
And
always allow.
You were talking about the friend. That's why I said, you and myself cannot go invite this friend to talk to her. It's the government responsibility to find all Princess Copper friends that they knew, to talk to every one of them. Not that these people, everyone in the knew certain thing, no. But based on information you will gather from these friends, that will sometimes help you to put some puzzles together. She made a call. The last call was to her friend. I don't know whether the police has been able to tell the public, did they talk to this friend who she knew, any other person that Princess was ever closer to before. All these things has to be asked just to narrow your investigation down. And people, people, I don't know, you heard this rumor because I had not been able to.
There's too much of radio stations with our manager, and people just come, wake up, watch their face,
Yes.
and that sort of news. I don't like to usually make them
No,
talk.
because people are saying the vice president security was posted there for some time that morning, or that whatever they say, the vice president security guy was there. But and this is the problem, because if the people who are in charge of the investigation, if they will make themselves available to some of us, then we can ask them, they can use that occasion to make clarity. But sometimes the manager can and read a press release, he go. Then you leave so many unanswered questions. And sometimes these are the things that will bring the mistrust. Okay, the other day, the people care that they arrested her boyfriend. Can you imagine that? They said they arrested the boyfriend.
I've been working on that story. I haven't heard anything.
And the lawyer, the man was with his lawyer the other day.
The what?
They freed the boy, he was with his lawyer the other day. That based on the interrogation, he had nothing to do with the case. The death of his fiancée. He and his lawyer were together. I followed the video the other day. He spoke that he was being traumatized. He got to go see his doctor and all that kind of thing. Yeah. But again, if you went on the scene as an investigator,
do you think there was a, because I saw the video, it has its own emotional and psychological stuff, whatever. But do you think he was talked to extensively? Because they were all sort of, I don't like to get into
Mr. So when I saw the story first day,
market news and they say
yes,
it doesn't make no sense.
When I saw the story, the first that they arrested him because he had transferred $150, deleted some messages. The first thing that came to my mind was the police. When they did arrive at the scene, what was the evidence, physical evidence that they collected?
Okay.
If you took
hold on 1 second. Let's have a quick interaction with few folks here so let them be part of the talking point. Let me go to these two numbers here. Call us. Good evening. Hello.
Yeah, hello. This is Elijah. Did they say Lpr-Tv?
Elijah, are you calling from 612?
Yes, 612.
Okay, dear. Hold on 1 second. There was a number that came in here. Caller, is that Mikey?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, after that, I'm going to come to you, Elijah. Okay, go ahead. You've been listening. I know we've been talking a lot of mix up about certain here, but where is your attention being drawn?
Oh, bringing me on. There are a couple of things. Number one, the statement for Elder Joseph Salih during the funeral service of the late, what they call him, Amos Sawyer. That statement was just to tell Weir that Ellie, as a person and her friends that have, plans on coming to mourn the death of the statement, they were all disappointed, frustrated that the men who came in as quote-unquote generational change to bring change in the country, he can't even hold the country up. Can't continue for decades for development and stuff like that. It was just plain and simple because they had the entire world looking at Liberia because we have foreign guests. And they see the government, the boss, the president, everybody was right there to make that statement. And I will look at that to play a very important role in 2023 election. What
could be that role possibly? Yeah, what possibly? Why would make it important in the 2023?
It will come to when it comes to ability to maintain infrastructure development. Like she started it, build the airport, turn it over to the government, and then George, we are fully maintain it. It speaks a lot about.
Yeah, but we also heard, fair to mention, we also heard that how you call it? What's the name of it? It's been there for years and years. So, what was her role? What she did, and was it maybe service and all of that, or we shouldn't? Yeah. That's not important.
Yeah, the thing there is that the airport was destroyed. Everything came in, thank God to the Chinese people, they stopped the deal, and they built a more than one. Okay? So the Weir government never seen the power and made the same old airport there. There has been and more than one there. So it shouldn't be giving all that excuse that they have their old age thing and stuff like that. Then what are you doing?
Okay.
Government. What are you doing to improve on what you left? It's like my father built a house and I can't say my father now did nothing good for me in life, but my father built a house, I was living in that house. And then I have not improved on my own, and I still complaining about my father. So
okay. All right. Thank you so much.
And then another thing you mentioned earlier about corruption. The issue of corruption in Liberia is such a holistic approach. It's such a thing that we should take a holistic approach on it. What do I mean by that? For the family, for our religious people, for our government. Like you just made mention, sorry, I didn't want to bring my name in the conversation. You will send somebody something to Liberia, the person that really said us to say thank you or accept that until you call them. Those kind of simple things. It shows how we are not honest, we are not appreciated. And that's where corruption comes from. So if you put somebody in authority over millions of dollars and the person get that kind of mindset, they won't think about other people. They don't have it in them.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like John did mention or somebody on the street that the children when they buy, when they want to sell it, they don't want to give you change. So it's decided to
I gotta take. You say I can't take people. Okay, just hold on. If you're not going, just hold on, Maki. Let me bring in the other person here quickly so that will make the point. 612 number 8050. Are you there? Good evening, caller. What's your name and where you calling from? 612 number. Are you there? 8050.
I mean, I'm here. I'm 0589.
Yeah, okay, that's another number there. I say 612-930-8050. I'm seeing the 058 now. I'll be coming to it. Oh, this person went off. Okay, just hold on 1 second. Let me see what I can put in there. That's the number I believe you look at it on. Okay, 8050. Are you there? Okay, you go ahead because I don't know why his number when you march it, don't go ahead. 89, whatever number. I don't want to make everybody go off here. Go ahead. The next number. Is 059. Are you there? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Taking forward. You're taking a conversation in power. They don't know the problem, but the moment they leave power, they're gonna see all the problem and know how to speak about the problem, which is so true. It can't be any more wrong. But only one exception I have to that though. I mean, I want to say except Alexander Benedict the Cummings for now because he hasn't been in power. I think we the Cummings supporters will get accused of not accepting criticism, when it comes to Cummings or whatsoever. That's not the case. For us, we just believe any criticism of Alexander Cummings, let it be fair. You know what I mean? Let it just be fair, and then we'll say yes, this is fair. He's not perfect. He's not, Jesus, but at least the way he lived his life so far, he has tried to be perfect. Until he can do something that is rightfully criticized, then we'll say yes. But sometimes we get accused that,
so okay, quickly, let me have a little bit quick engagement here before I go to the next person. So literally you are saying Alexander Cummings is exempt. This is not applicable to him because he's not being in government, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what should we be questioning him about as well? What is the authentic or the authenticity he's bringing? So since we are talking about the past government, people who work in government and they will say, oh, you can't talk to your boss man, and this is a completely disgrace. We see here most of our educated people, they've been in the West. Here, people take decision when they're ready, they walk away. But again, when you look at it and you scratch your head a little bit, poverty, these people walk away, they are career people, they have other professions. So when I'm acting crazy on Lpr, the liberal can walk away, Pat George can walk away. But hey, the folks in Liberia, they no back route. So they're forced to live with it, which of course, except it just doesn't make sense. Why should we say Alexander Cummings? Because he's not in government. Is that enough? He never worked in government.
No, I mean, no, it's not. It's not that. The thing is, you see, first of all, the situation is very terrible. But at the same time, too, we can't give up on our country.
Yes.
So because for me, I just did a post. I said I refuse to believe in a country of 5 million people. We don't have at least one leader, to lead the right our country, right?
Okay.
So some of us believe in Cummings. Okay. Now, when it comes to Cummings, because he has nothing to criticize, for people to criticize him about, so try to find stuff. And some of the things they try to find and say, why would this man who claims to be clean mix up with people that are, that are corrupt? Okay, now the question becomes, first of all, it's already been proven that you need collaboration for you to win an election. In order for you to make a change, you have to at least dance with the devil, basically, right? So the now the man try to do that, all of a sudden now he's got it caught in the web. He's been busy every which way. So now they say, oh yeah, because he went and joined those people, that's why he's dealing with all this, right? Even when Jesus came, Jesus mingled with criminals and thieves just to make a change, right? So my whole point is simple. Alexander Cummings has not done anything yet for him to really be to say, yes, this man has done something egregious that.
Okay, so what I'm going to suggest, and you can hold on and go to the point. Let's wait and get the findings from the court. But hold on there. Maybe somebody will call coming in and you're going to plug into your screen there. So let me go to this number here. Yeah, everybody got to defend. Everybody get their own area to defend. Let me go to this number here, 612 number 0589. Is that you?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, you are the 0589?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay. So, Mikey, do you have a final point to make before? Do you agree with the last caller?
Well,
Cummings has not been in government. Cummings is more or less we can gamble within and stuff like that. Do you agree? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, from what you said, honestly, at first I used to really follow Cummings. I used to really admire him for his.
Then what happened now? What happened now?
Everything. But what happened is that you see, Cummings came in the picture as a clean person. He said we can't be doing this over. a different thing.
Yeah.
That's what Comey said. And associating yourself with people like Musa Benedict, who is a renowned criminal by FIFA. They say when you live, when they forget say you will flee, or they will flee, you wake up or flee, something like that. I mean, do not associate yourself with these kind of people. Your transparency should be seen. Whether you or whom we know he work, he earn his own money, everything, fresh and clean. You keep me the picture with different things, and then you start associating yourself with people that who are quote unquote.
So okay,
or was one.
this soundbite here, Mikey. Before I go to the next person.
And then another thing, before I leave the Kumi talk here, and then another thing in 2000, was it 2017 election when they went for the third round? I think the second round, and there's another Kumi left the whole entire support of the whole base, like go and vote for whoever you want to vote for. So I felt so bad for that particular decision he made at that time. He should have gathered his supporters. Look, we don't want this individual. You know, he shake himself over there politically, and I think he will find it difficult to really meet that.
So okay, quickly, I want to go to the next people. This has caused you to change your mind, correct?
Yeah, for me, yes. Honestly, even though he's not my candidate of choice.
Well, who your candidate now? Why are you not talking about your own candidate? Who your candidate?
The person in the whole race, one way or the other, kind of going, around his camp to really see his idea, vision, is what they call it, Gongolo.
Okay.
Somebody, he keep ringing my mind. I keep following him, keep observing his activity and stuff like that.
People will call them, they don't want to come. Okay, thank you so much. All right. Okay, so let me go to this number here, 346 number 3746. Caller, good evening, and then I will come back to you. 0589 346. You the presiding officer in this whole case here. Where your area? You get area?
Oh yeah, I get area. I'm not somebody understands it. I got area and been having that area since 2004.
2004. Where is that area? May I know?
I'm a member of the Unity Party.
Unity Party.
I'm a proud member of the Unity Party.
Unity Party. Why?
I don't sit on the fence. I don't like people who are telling me I'm on the fence because people say that I'm on the fence, they are ignorant.
Okay.
I don't like to hear people saying that.
Okay. So if you say Unity Party, that can quickly make a conclusion. Is that Omen Boyka, Ambassador Boyka?
Yes, sir.
And I learned that there's a convention in the making. MPP too going to be having their convention. Is the deal sealed off for Ambassador Boyka, or will there be a challenge, or is a white ballot? Where one? How far? What do you know?
Up until now, he's the only one we know for now. But we wait to see if somebody might come up. It is open. I mean, the ballot, the entire process is open. Anyone can apply if they want it.
Okay, and I said,
how the Liberian thing works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most time when people see support, they have one person, other people don't want to come into the race.
So what we're doing now on LPR here, we want to take this thing out of these politicians. You, the Liberians, the electorates, whether inside Liberia or out, we need to be having these conversations about our country. Now, do you honestly believe, are you as an individual and supporter of a Unity Party of now more or less front runner Ambassador Joseph Boyka, what is your concern as your Liberian? Put away that political government. What is your concern about your candidate? Do you have one?
My concern about Ambassador Boyka?
Yeah, is there any do you have any apprehension as to whether he's ready to lead, or is it because he has served as a vice president 12 years, so he's he's suited, or any apprehensions? I mean, it's your view, it's your opinion.
Okay, so Mr. So, besides being a member of the Unity Party, and now that Mr. Boyka news have come out, I can tell people in the house everything we keep saying that opportunity to say is right. There is one major reason why I can voice for Ambassador Boyka.
Okay.
I have heard people say he's working governor for 40 years. I don't know about that. Because for him, I heard for him for 5 years. So, but let's take it for the 40 years. Let's say the devil advocate, right? But with all of this time he's been working in government, and you and I know that. I don't know about what you know, but for me, On the side, they know Liberian politics. There's one major killer. All the Liberian government officers who come to power speak on. And the only big thing that everybody always speaks on is corruption. Every government I ever heard of from President Summer, and guess what? All of those governments, Joseph Oga are there around.
Hold on one sec. Caller, you just joined. Please hold on 1 second. Please lower your monitor. Caller 980 number. Somebody listening, just lower your monitor so we can get a feedback. Go ahead quickly. Okay, go ahead quickly so that we can go to the next. Yeah.
And like I was saying, we're in almost all of those governments, right? But yet there is not one person who can show us just one act of corruption. And because we believe that Liberian sickness, Liberia's most important and major sickness that affects the entire country is corruption. And this man has survived through the rank and file, and he can be called one very head of corruption. I think he's the best person to help us solve the problem. Let him tell us how he was able to maneuver through the process and how to this second limit. We cannot find any other corruption on it. That's even the telling you lay the foundation.
Okay.
Maybe the foundation you will set for us, if all of us follow it, I think that can become a better era.
Okay, thank you so much.
That's one of the major reasons why I kind of believe in it.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, let me go to this number 980 number 6339. Are you there, caller? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening, Mr. So and the LPR family.
Good evening. Welcome.
My name is Victor, and I'm calling you from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's hear from Charlotte this evening.
Yeah. So, as we always say, I want to go straight to the issue. Liberia has a serious complex problem, and most of the time, when I listen to other podcasts or political commentators or just regular callers calling in on some of the programs like tonight, you hear people saying that Lpr-Tv 12 years, there was corruption. There was this. Mr. Kelly didn't do this, which Ambassador Baga was vice president for. And then you also hear people saying CDC is not doing this. But then when you suggest a killing it to the Liberian people, they will tell you, oh, this man said he was clean. Or this man, he never went through the rank and file of the Liberian political shenanigans or whatever. So for that reason, we can't elect him. We need somebody who is well seasoned with what's happening in Liberia. Just to tell us that we as Liberians, we are not ready to solve our problems. Because
solve this problem. Okay, solve this problem for us. Why do you?
My thing here, Mr. So, is that we should be asking these politicians what do they have in stock for us.
Oh man, I wish you were closer to me. I'm gonna give you a nice cool glass of wine.
We should be asking these politicians what they have for us instead of us defending them that this person served in government for 25 years, or this person worked in corporate America, or this person has their own business, or this person building schools for themselves. Instead of us saying these things, we should be asking Mr. Cummings, what will you do differently that the CDC government is doing now, or that Mr. Kelly did 12 years ago, 15 years ago? Mr. Braga, what can you do differently that your predecessor did, that you saw her doing, that was not right, that you think you can do differently? Ambassador Braga is saying nothing.
Oh,
I've not heard anything of him.
What's your name?
1 year.
What's your name again?
I've not heard anything. My name is Victor Afumi.
Mr. Victor.
I've not heard anything from Ambassador Braga. Ambassador Braga came to America. He said nothing. He went back to Liberia. He has said nothing. When you say it, the United Party people get mad with you. When you want to chat down Mr. Cummings, the ANC people get mad with you. These people should tell us what would they do differently from the past 15 years of governance, either on President Weah or Mr. Selly. We want to hear what would they do differently when it comes to corruption, education, health, human resource capacity, and on, roads, whatever. Let them tell us. They are not saying anything, Mr. So
you know what? You know what? I
we as
wish.
Liberians, ourselves, we're not acting them. That's why they keep riding on us. The same thing we did with Darren DeLong. Darren DeLong said the only thing he got to do is to give us life. He never told us what will he do when he gets to the Senate. Now he's in the Senate, now he's changing every day. We ourselves, we confused. Because he didn't say anything.
Well, me and I'm confused. Okay, so thank you so much. And I think that's a perfect analysis. And this is a sort of talking point that we want. And it's so painful when we see supporters that they are so they are blood boys within them. When people call these people, and that's why we give these people free passes to presidency, to the legislature, and all of that, because they come and tell all little or nothing, and we don't ask them the question because we support these people. It's good to support people, but like the caller said, I want to know to your infrastructure to development plan. How much is your projected figure you want to invest in the infrastructure of Liberia, agriculture, education, and all of that? But guess what? The people do not like this sort of talking point. They like people who just want to throw a blanket and everybody go on a, and you go to bed and you come back. And then when you go to, you don't see the pump the man bed. This is where these institutions are failing because we fail to make these institutions independent. They all center. You think we're coming for all Coca-Cola money or whatever money people are defining it to be, to nowadays respect, or Boyka from Unity Party, Kasser, and all of these people. These people put all that they have. You think they want to put it there without getting it back? Absolutely not. All of the people part of the political party, they don't pay due. They are not even members. They are not even sure because one day they member with the party, another day they member with the party, another day they member with this party. How do you think the party can be sustained? People who are here, they have the party is an institution, but we have purposely, calculatively, I mean, whatever way you think in our country, ANC people, the ANC people, they take it, they think that Alexander Coleman property. So he's a millionaire, so it's for him. And they don't support it. This is why dominance of power comes in. Because when a man put all eating a gas on and put inside, you don't pay French mercy, no contributions, no drink. When you put inside, he put all his resources, everything in it. Of course, nobody want to invest on fertile soil. You got to get whatever you get. And I hope they are listening, they are supporters. They will give you a second thought that we must stop this entertainment with this media business. And if you want to be a Chris Rock and Will Smith, then go to Grammy War. One person slap one another. We're tired of slapping people in like, bro. We need to ask all of them. They shouldn't be telling us about, I don't give a heck of them telling me what George Weah can't do. You need to start telling me. You know what? Because he's a Cuban. He can tell you, say, well, my projects, my mission, things that I'm supposed to do, they are not completed. I'm going to be doing it in the second time. He can go with it. But you can come out and define his failures and what you think you can do. But they don't do it. They take up time and point all of the ills in George Weah, CDC-led government. I understand no like that. They want to do this, that want to do that. What will you do and how you intend to do it? That's the conversation that needs to take to the electorate. Or you have a lazy electorate, dull electorate, who are not willing to go further beyond their own comfort zone and who are unable to ask their leaders, people they call political leaders. Yeah, we heard Darren DeLong. I had an interview with him in the past. That billing is a wise billing. It's all about legacy. He started off by calling him Coley spineless. I will not do this. I will not do. If you go down there, if you can't coordinate, if you can't sit down with what his name said, Akara Gray can sit down with maybe Nyombi Kanga Lawrence, and then to put a bill or produce something. They're not here. They're already there 9 years. And after 9 years, its possibility is guaranteed that we get it because they are financially strong. But until we can change that narrative, other than that, that was so joke we are doing. Let me go to this number here. 612 number. Let me bring you back here. 0589. Are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you listen to the last caller here, and he hit the core buttons of conversation we like to keep on this network here. Are we honestly supporters, podcast hosts, commentators, journalists, comedian, everybody, like mobile, boot mobile? Are we honestly discussing about Liberia? Are we honestly asking these people who want state power, what are they bringing to the table? Or we just look at George, we are failures and think it's enough for all we should make them president too?
No, we're not honestly doing that. Why am I saying that? Because for the most part, most of us Liberians practice what they call group think. Right? We just, we come to dismiss people. See, say, oh, this person is, oh, then I'm not with me. So the person had that. First, again, out of a 5 million, population, there's one leader. There is a whole lot of analysis that goes into trying to pick a leader, right? We all want the same thing for Liberia, want what is best for Liberia. And what is best for Liberia is good leadership. So the just gotta know. Let me address the one of the causes I like to learn. Okay, he said Comey, lie with the dogs and he got to refuse because that's the analogy you're trying to use. So after he said everything about Comey, and he said you were looking in the direction of Mr. Bongo. No, Mr. Bongo works in the early government. Does that make him a bad person because we all know that government was corrupt. So does that make Mr. Bongo a bad person? You see the level of hypocrisy we're talking about? After criticizing Kumi's on one hand for working with Musa Beneti, now he's looking in the direction of Mr. Bongo, and Mr. Bongo worked with Mr. Leaf. Now, Mr. John Molu said the early Jesus government, one of the most corrupt government in the history of Liberia. He could not work any longer. He got fired, right? Let me address the other brother that said Mr. Boykai has no criminal record. No corruption on his record. How do you judge that? This man was a judge and an executioner. He worked. He never got audited. This man never got audited, but yet again they're running around talking about Mr. Boykai don't have any corruption on his record.
Who never got audited? You say who never got audited?
Mr. Boykai. Mr. Boykai office never got audited.
How do you know?
When it was audited, the report never came out. The report was suppressed.
So, but then, in fair judgment, if the report does not come out, it does not also suggest that it was never audited. A report can also be challenged before. I don't know. I'm not saying your point is not valid.
But you as a journalist, have you ever heard of any report? Any other report from Mr. Boykai's office?
Yeah, it's the saddest thing here. And I was just about to add up to Madam Page, which is a valid point. The sickening things about our politicians and all of them, there are people always in defense of them. They are unwilling, not a single, not just on the verbal, written communication from our end. We are asking these people to have a conversation to us or to direct us. I don't know a single political party that got an official website that you can go and see. I'm not talking about just Facebook page. I'm talking about the official website. It's more credible. There are places that you can get resources. I'm not talking about people making fictitious name and in like the Cummings or the Boyka. That's not where I get my that's not where I get my name. Information. No, what I'm saying is a good arguable point. But until these people until these people can come to us or they can make things available, but they don't want to do it. They choose where they want to go. So that what leads speculation.
I get two more points. Let us appreciate the opportunity to let me just quick two things now, that I can, a lot of other people coming. So you see the thing is simple. When you're in the court, a lot of two evidence that you can do it. Either you have direct evidence or circumstantial evidence, right? So even if we don't have direct evidence on Mr. Boyka, we can stay in dying on circumstantial evidence. Because it's more receiving about $2.4 million annually. That means at least you're taking home $500,000 a year in salary. So in the poor country of like Liberia, if you're taking up to $500,000, is that a man that really cares for poor people? You see, that's it's just common logic. It's
Yeah.
just about common logic. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It wasn't fair at all. Now the last one I want to address, is one of the brothers that left the last two that said, oh, when you try to the comic book, I see you try to criticize coming in the comic book, say, oh, don't criticize coming. No, it's bringing back my same point I'm trying to make. Nobody says you cannot criticize coming. But the criticism being fair. And the only thing that's going to benefit from right now is the fact that he is new on the scene. So until this man can enter into office and perform, and, you have so much, you have less to hold him on. And it's just that simple. The same way someone is new to the game, and the user against him, he can also be using his benefit that because he's new to the game, he does not have any record, and you can hold him on. So now, what is the result? So they say, oh, what can we not do for Liberia? Is that a fair attack? You see, so this is some of the things that when we the comic people come and say, when we let's just strike back and they say, oh, we don't let them to come, we don't let them to criticize coming. No, because the criticism the first say it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
That's the only problem we have here.
Yeah, everybody get their defense counsel. Okay, thank you so much, my dear brother. I'll be going to Mr. Joy here very shortly. Pa Joy, please bear with me. Let me go to these two numbers. Thank you. And I like your argument. If the day you wish to come us live here on our video screen, let us know and we'll bring you as well. I think yeah, I don't want to too much. We want to give this authority now to the Liberian people. Okay, 281 number. Hold on, please. Let me go to 612 number 0589. Are you there? Or no, that is 058 now spoke. 8050 612 8050.
Yeah, I'm here. This is Elijah from beautiful Minnesota.
Beautiful Minnesota, Twin Cities. Okay, so Elijah, you listen to the last person and tweet your mind and there's anything that is say, oh, this guy is making sense. I need to add or I need to subtract. Is there anything that you want to add before we let you go?
Yeah, it's too much that I want to add. It's just gonna Liberia politics just gonna be like forever. This is one of the reasons I've never.
Do you want it to be like this forever? Is it good where we are now?
No, where we are is not good. This is why I don't join political party. I've never joined any political party since I was born, and I will not join any political party.
Come on, Elijah. We have 20 some more party. No good one there.
I don't want to be loyal. My loyalty is not going to be to a political party. Whether they are wrong, I'm going to be there to support them. If somebody criticizes them constructively, I'm going to be there and say no, what they're saying is wrong. Simply because that is my party and that's my standard bearer. I don't think my conscience going to set me
okay,
right
hold on.
If I join any political party.
Okay, hold on there. Don't go, please. Just stay with us here. Let's chill out this evening here. Let me bring in this number here. Maybe they're gonna add up to it or they're gonna see the different side of it. 281 number 7750. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Dwayne Henne. I'm calling you from Texas.
Mr. Henne, thank you so much. This is what Elijah is saying. In the other context, literally, Elijah is saying, you know what? These people politically they are not honest. I don't want to pledge my loyalty. Okay, that's a valid point. Why not go there and make your voice heard as well and see where they are going to wrong if you're able to fix it? Will he be accommodated? Do you agree with him or do you have another side of it?
So I have two sides of it. The first side is you cannot change the political process without being part of the political process.
Thank you.
That's one. So in order to change the political process, you either have to join the process through an independent creation of a political party or an action group that serves to hold people accountable. That's one. So if he can't join, he cannot be an activist or have an activist organization, which is a non-profit organization, or join a political party or create a political party in order to change it. He's going to continuously stay on the side and complain. And
so, meaning his voice will not be accommodated?
The voice will not be heard. It will just be noise. Nobody will care. and that's how it is in politics. The second thing is that I really, really want people during the hosting of these shows is to be able to list all the problems we have in our country and ask these candidates each problem per ministry. What are the policies you're going to adopt for each of the problems that each ministry is faced with, and how you're going to solve it to benefit or to render service to the Liberian people? It's a very simple thing. I don't want to hear about whether you were in alien government or you were in Jesus government or your father was your uncle from Grand Crew and like my father from Maryland. I don't want to know. I have these problems. That each of these problems are related to each of these specific ministries. How do you intend to solve each and every one of these problems? It's very basic. If he cannot tell us or she cannot tell us how she intends to solve these problems with a clear policy and logical argument, there is no need for me to have a second discussion with you. And so most of the hosts today that we are seeing on Facebook and different places, they are not neutral. They are not asking the right questions. They are actually advocating for
Propagandists. That's it.
And this is completely detrimental to the society because then it's not enabling our society and our people to make intelligent decisions. Because once they start to follow this host, who is already being paid for to talk on behalf of John Brown, who has absolutely no idea to contribute or constructive idea to contribute to Liberia, everybody follows him. So then nobody asks that question now, okay, how about we ask this man how he intends to build a road from here to Cape Palmas for 172 years, 200 years now, they will not reach Cape Palmas. We ask the man, how do you intend to stabilize electricity with 2 to 5 million people? You need at least 8 gigawatts of electricity. How you intend to create 8 gigawatts of stable electricity across Liberia? We want to know. We have the big rain issue and mud issue. How do you intend, apart from building roads, to run rails from the various port cities to the hinterland in order for us to move goods, services, and mechanized farming products to the cities? We want to know. These are things that define our sovereignty. We want to know how do you intend to address the health sector? Because 90 to 90% of the people dying in Liberia dying from malaria and typhoid. And malaria and typhoid come from mosquitoes, which is created by dirt. So how you intend to solve the water and sewage problem that is killing our people? 5, how do you intend to solve the educational issue where people are graduating from college and they cannot articulate or write a simple formal letter to anybody? How do you intend to solve this problem? Ministry of Education, how do you intend to address Ministry of Education and its program to address education from a global village? Due to all the technological advances that are around the world and the remote working that is happening across the world, and other people are benefiting from it from China, from India, from Jamaica, from Barbados. Why can't Nigeria benefit from it? In order for you to do that, how do you intend to enable fiber and telecommunication infrastructure to ensure that communication can work effectively and efficiently so that people can do this remote jobs? We want to hear these things, but we're not hearing anything. All we're hearing, this man was and he went up the mountain and he talked to Moses and Moses talked to Jesus. So what? How is going to put control of the incentive? How is going to create electricity for imagine having an international airport with no 24-hour electricity? How is going to solve that problem? We have land today that 6 to 7 people own the same deed for the same land because we can put in place a simple longitude and latitude digital system to track who in what land, where, and how. Simple basic problems. None of these candidates can solve for me. Whether they're representing districts or they're coming from, they want to be senators for a county, or they want to be legislators, or they want to be president. They can't tell us anything. All they're doing is fighting, insulting each other, putting naked pictures on Facebook of each other, all kind of insane, crazy things that never existed in our society before. It's very, 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 very saddening. It's saddening for us that really love our country and want to see people step up to tell us, for God's sake, how do we solve our problems? How do we enable the people in the diaspora to contribute positively to the society instead of political rhetoric all the time and fighting and all kind of unnecessary stuff that never brings us together Nigerians to play on your country. They are taking these people who are hosting these shows to ask them these questions. So we'll know what their intentions are instead of them spending all the money to buy goods. So for me,
All right.
as well, from Maryland, this is my concern.
Mr. Nimland, I want to thank you so much. And these are valid, logical questions being arranged chronologically, and that is politicians they need to answer. Unfortunately, it's not happening, and we'll continue to push for that. But again, today's media is being polarized. You have the entertainment aspect, you have the propagandists, and you have those who preaching the sound bites of this political party. When all of these 3, 4 butt heads, people pivot in a direction to things they want to hear, and that's why, for the most part, we try to tell you things that you need to know, not things that you want to hear. So it is a disappointment sometimes people come here. But I want to thank you so much. 68050. You get a last word before we let you go. We'll be wrapping up very shortly.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for having me and giving so many of us young people the opportunity to express our view. And I just wanted to make one quick point on the former President Ellie Johnson Sirleaf on her statement during the late Dr. Sawyer.
Yes,
Yeah, for me, I know people been commending her and saying that that's the right thing she said and blah blah blah. But I look at it from a different standpoint.
Tell us.
From the day this government came in power, nothing that they are doing now that haven't been happening. You know, they have done it worse, and Ellen had never said a word. Ellen is only speaking up now because she had already noticed the amount of censure that is coming to this government. So she's trying to remove that entanglement between she and the government, pull herself far from them so that they alone can deal with it with their censure.
So is that a political hypocrisy she playing?
Yeah, that's why she's playing. That's why she's playing. She haven't said anything. All the killing that have been going on in the country, all the worst thing that have been going on, she never uttered a word.
And that's another valid point. As a former state person too.
Come again?
No, I said that's another valid point, Pastor. You are just added as a state person too. Yeah, but then that's going to bite her because we're talking about griefs, death, and other people that happen too. So she's going to be digging her own grave. So do you think it was calculatively done, being very strategic on things to speak or to talk about as well? You don't think so?
That's the game she's playing. That's the game she plays. She knows censure is already at the door of this government, so she's trying to draw line between she and the government now. And I think it is too late for her. The people already know that she and the government have been working in here. She used her influence to bring them to power. And besides that, they place her in the budget. They place her organization in the budget. All the things got something to do with her. You see, that the censure Ellie has seen, that's what she's trying to act like. She know now that the apple has been dark. It is not that she know the apple has been dark. Simply because censure is coming. She can keep playing with the young people like this. Before she think, we already think ahead of her. It is because of the censure Ellie making that statement. I want to say thank you guys for the show and continue following the show.
Yeah, so
and I pray yeah.
We'll go ahead.
Yeah, I hope if there anything we can do to improve on the show, like a GoFundMe or anything, or we'll be waiting to contribute. We want to help and make this show or keep this show up because the show is mature and the conversation is interactive. And we love it, and this is very good for we the young people. I really appreciate you guys.
Okay, thank you so much, my man Nimle. And you are 612. What you say your name again?
Elijah.
Okay, okay, Elijah. Yeah, thank you so much. There are a lot of people been calling, and this is what, and that's what I say. We have to take the conversation, the future of Liberia, from the hands of the politician. And so probably we'll try to work in here and let's see, let's look at the future of Liberia and have people like you, people like Nameland and other folks. We need to have ladies to participate as well. You forget about your political leader then. You forget about that. Those people want to be senator for 9 years. Think about your own son, your daughter. Let me put this thing out here. I'll be forced to do it here. This is my daughter. Today was her birthday. She a young girl. She's in Liberia now, going to school. You don't think I want my daughter to be senator or representative for my county? But here we have these people there, they are there for 9 years. And there's no intention that after 9 years, they will even want to relinquish. They won't go for another 9 years. They will want to go for another 9 years. How can we visit all of these sort of these clauses, the hooks that they put on there because they did it on purpose, on calculated, that yeah, when they're there, they will solidify their political grip. They will become financially equipped. I will not get money. You know, who don't want your son or daughter to serve? It's a good thing to serve, to work for your country. What is important is the authenticity, the honesty you take to this to do the job for the country. So we're going to having this. Going to be having a lot of critical conversation moving forward here, and on the issue of GoFundMe. I'm not a favor of that thing that much. If we come here to ask for something, there must be a reason. Anybody who will follow LPR here, there must be a reason, and we must have a valid reason. Like in the case of the students in Morocco and other major thing, we will come up with something, but before we come out, we must have a valid point, and it must be concrete. And after that, we must tell you there must be a result. And that's what I told my folks. I don't want to be like a guy or like woman, you want to marry, you won't pay for your wedding, you won't get a wedding gown, you not get hard, and you can't call people, I want to marry. Where you get? I ain't get nothing. I'm responsible to pay for your entire thing? No. Bring in 40, 60, 80%, and then you ask for people's support. That's the rational way to do things. Guys, thank you so much. Let me go to my man, and we're going to be wrapping it up here this evening. Pa George.
Yep.
It was a fascinating conversation. I think we are coming to the realization that people are trying to sense out this whole thing here. You listen to these people here, and I see it more profitable that we engage our onliners, callers, people that are writing their tweets, and all of that, because they are adding value to the conversation. So we're not in the entertainment here. A time for something we crack joke and that's it. But they are critical issues. They are more important things that is happening. What's your last word before we go?
Let me say that I just wanted to close on a note with InTouch was the call this a virtual call they have of Liberia or the Wilson Center with all the ambassadors, past and present. I don't know. You saw the clip?
Honestly, no.
Oh, you need to see it. Fascinating clip. And Mr. So the interesting thing is, all these people, they spoke about one thing. I mean, they touched other issues, but the major thing was corruption in the past and in the present.
So the question talking about A is one thing and putting forward solution, that's another thing.
But here's the thing. The people are confronting the government. These people are confronting the government. You read what the editor of the African Star carried.
Mm-hmm.
It was from that, some of the things they said, was from that, the quoted Lena Greenfield and the woman that went to Morocco to represent Joe Biden confronted the government again. And one of the ambassadors out there during the war, he stated something.
Yeah, but talking about confronting the government, if you listen to the editorial of the African Star, a confrontation with a supplement they put forward ideas as to how you're going to be doing. So now the question becomes, is the opposition, are they politically equipped? If they critique the government, if they say, for example, what happened at RRA, that shouldn't have, something should have happened. That finance, and I think I agree with Ambassador Bounds, because the statement by, what his name, Minister Tue, it is absurd. It appears that he knows what was going on, off and on. And at Janko Lanta, you put people's life at risk. You endangered the president and the republic, the president of the republic.
So that I want to hear.
No.
What endangered the president life?
What?
The finance minister.
No, listen. I mean,
listen,
I don't care whether you agree with him, disagree.
No. But the finance minister.
I disagree with him with his policy. I don't hate him as an individual.
No.
I disagree with him I don't want my country president for somebody feel administrative blunder, whatever. Look, I'm quoting him directly for himself. There must be some tough actions, and this is where leadership comes in. When you begin to flex your muscle on certain thing, and then you want to prove tough on the other thing, or because of the ties, then that's what the problem is. But go ahead, make it.
Let me ask you, that press conference, Lieutenant Bangale, Rachel Remy, Samuel Tue, the board chairman, what was the managing director of RRA?
That's a valid question.
What was the managing director of RRA? He was not there. So you can see, when I talk to some people, say, Mr. So I would never wish for anybody, for any danger to fall on anybody.
This is not in your defense, but in the interest of fairness. I'm talking in the interest of fairness. I don't know whether the manager is out of the country or on different assignment. And this is not I'm only saying people that are also responsible. Maybe if not the manager is not even there, there should be some technical members or technical.
That's what I'm going to tell you.
So if not necessarily the manager.
The deputy is not there. Some deputy is not there to deputy for the managing director. But you had the Minister of Justice.
Yeah. The reason I'm saying the Minister of Finance is the chief disbursement officer of auxiliary autonomous agencies of government. Yes. And he went in depth to say this is been happening off and on. We are not in a seesaw world, and knew the amount. If you knew how much it costs to replace or repair whatever about that, and you knew this sort of system off and on situation, what happened? You saw, you know what happened to Joe Pitt? That is saying the plane was not light up. So he knew the problem. So I am saying, if he knew all of this, what did he do? What was the steps he did to also financially empower those people to get that thing fixed?
But you saw the other day, the managing director took one press group on the tour around talking about the generator they have there, and they were bringing someone from South Africa, a team, to come and connect those generators. Just last week, he took voice of Amdo like right there on tour. But Mr. So what I'm seeing here is that the Minister of Finance, he's the kind of person for all to collect, manage the finances of Liberia.
But let's be fair. This is not just only the executive. We have the government of Liberia. There are 3 branches of government, work simultaneously with different roles and things. So they also have function. They are oversight responsibility in the house, in both house, lower and upper. They are also there to also check why these people are taking 30K. So it's just about having a $50,000, $80,000 car, right? The tires spinning. We just want to see the dark windshield, and they just go to bed. So I'm saying this, if we do not adapt the system to hold people that are in charge responsible of their fail and lack of administrative policy to get things done, and we just want to put it on the executive branch of government, then what we are doing, we are paralyzing other 2 branches of government.
I'm not putting it on the executive alone, because the legislature has an oversight. There's someone.
They're passing through that airport. They don't different there, go Ghana. Go to look at when you learn small country like Gambia, when you go there.
What happened since that debacle happened? Have you seen the committee on committee chairman on RIA calling the managing director
You know
to
what?
come
I'm
to
having
explain?
I'm having a severe headache right now.
No.
This
And
is so ridiculous.
So here's the thing here. But why the management of RIA is that they just there to collect money and pay salary? Is no fund, they don't put fund aside for maintenance? Is that what they're saying?
I think tomorrow I'm getting that information here. There are some important information. So I'm going to take time. I'm not going to do like these sort of people who get ready, breaking news, and make people cholesterol and high blood pressure to go up. People are monitoring. And I know people who are close to all of that. They are monitoring. Don't mind people that are listening. I want to gather this information and we're going to see it. We're going to validate it. We're going to give it a conversation. And tomorrow we will come back here at the Wembley Stadiums of the Liberia Public Radio and have that conversation. Maybe perhaps we will use these people for us to ask some of these tough questions. But I think it is time for us to change the conversation, change the narrative. If Alfonso is messing up on LPR, we need to hold people accountable. We need to hold people responsible.
Well,
I was
this is
very
what I
unhappy.
always say.
I was very unhappy. It was a careless statement on the part of the Minister of Information, not Information Finance, to put what he put out there.
I mean, the man doing his hand like this.
It clearly shows that he knows the problem.
Yes.
And if you know it's a potential problem, what did you do to address that problem? And just to come and make
Flinch's statement.
We need to take the country serious and do things. And there are a lot of good callers here. We need to ask all our leaders. You know that we wrote this party, we want your direct representative as analysts so that when they say something, it will not just be a job exercise. It will be the views and opinions of these institutions.
Mr. So, these people would not send anybody to us
not willing to come.
So because you know what? When they send these people are going to ask them the tough question, and that may land in.
Like nobody don't insult on this network here.
And that may land in the problem.
We can disagree with us, our view, but it's always civil, and that's what we like. To my dear sister here, Ms. Page, thank you so much. Okay, say as a host, serve your viewers by filtering opinions and facts. You are in the position to research each candidate's platform visions. If you haven't having it advisable, you refrain from claims against various candidates. Of course, we have to claim because why? We reach out to them, not verbally, people that are close to them.
They can put it online.
Of information.
Put it
if
online.
You're seeking public office, direct me. You don't have to tell me, direct me, but they don't have anywhere they can direct me. I'm not going to get information on Facebook page. Tell me your official website. This is why, let me post something here. I like to be concrete, not abstract before we go here. And that's the difference with the Liberia Public Radio. And I'm going to do right now here to just show exactly who we are, what we represent, and how we want things to be done. Okay, here we go. All right, you see here? Let me put this here. Mr. Josh, I'm going to move you out here a little bit here.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I know. Okay, you see here? This is the official website. I'm not talking about our Facebook page. This is the official website of the Liberia Public Radio. Any information relative to this institution, when it was founded, things that it been doing, stories that it been carrying, interviews that was being transcribed, everything on this here. My interview with Cummings and other people, this is still, you see about 160, so something here. Look, if we want to hold our people accountable, I get my Liberia Public Radio Facebook page here. It's not something. When people want to tap into LPR, they want to know the website. They want to see things that we have done before. If these political parties if they can tell us, or if you can help us, go to www.org or www.this as an official website, and maybe there's a form there to who to contact, this and that, who will do it. When you call their phone, when you talk to them, they agree to have a conversation. Guess what? After they talk to people who more or less they feel comfortable with, and they say, don't go there. So we know what we are talking. It's not yesterday thing we've been doing here. We are not in it for entertainment. So we are not being driving crazy who watching, who not watching. I don't care. But information needs to go out. It is important Liberians have the information on hand. Until these politicians, until these people who want state power can tell us, but they come, everything has been verbalized. I will never hold anybody of their word because it's not written. It's not concrete. I can point at it. They are just abstract conversation. So it's difficult. But if anybody, those of you who have these people, if you can convince them so that they can come here, we'll be glad to have a conversation. Until then, Mr. George, I want to thank you so much for being here again tonight. As usual, we'll be back here at some point in time, by God's willing. Tomorrow, we're going to be back here. I just got a message here relative to this airport here. I will try to place that phone call to the individual and see what they have. If it's something that will be profitable for the Liberian people to know, obviously we're going to bring it. Have a pleasant evening.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, folks, that does it this evening with another edition of All Things Considered right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet, Lpr-Tv Radio. You can also go to our official website, www.lpr-tv.com, where news in detail, transcript, and everything are available. I want to thank you so much, folks, for your comments, your suggestions, your tweets. And on a serious note, for those of you that are close to this party or get influence, who want to talk to them? I want to interview Cassette. I want to interview Ambassador Boyka, even President Weah, Ambassador Joseph Newman Boyka. I made an attempt in Liberia. It didn't work. I will still try. I reached out with George Lobo and all of those people, Gaia families, and all of those. Some of them, they are colleagues, they are friends. But all we can do is to extend the invitation, not just by mouth, rating, confirm it is received. We are just waiting for the acknowledgement. Likewise, Cummings as well. He promised to come here again. And as soon as that is done, we finalize conversation. Hopefully, we can do that. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. And by God's willing, we're going to be back here. The Liberal is on the run. The Liberal left today. The Liberal said he can't stand the heat. Just kidding. Folks, have a pleasant evening, and let God save our country, Republic of Liberia. Let's leave it for tonight. Bye-bye.
Everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. Dishonesty, poverty on the rise. The leaders them making empty promises. Promises with no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days, money in the pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a better days, money in your pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. The bosses. Oh, yo. Hey, what about the children? What about the people? What about your families? What are they gonna eat? Yeah, so safety and we waiting. Uh-oh. Yeah, so waiting and we happy. They don't really care about you. They don't care, my people, it's true. They don't want to see you break through. The whole country's getting confused. Corruption, no questions. The country's going in the wrong direction. Leaders I barely many mentions. We don't know where the money come from. Attention, corruptions. Why nobody asks the question? They need to be in detention. 40 in our nation.
Yes, that's my own boy Ty Archivon, so one of the sensational Thai DJ here within the East Coast belt, New England, right here in the ocean state of Rhode Island. DJ Archivon with that sound. Quite fascinating, very interesting. Somebody, the former president of South Africa now is behind the bar. People in the past, in the future, people should be held accountable. No one should be above the law, including myself. Things that I say, things that I utter, I must be accountable for it. If Liberia is to progress, justice, the rule of law should not be selective. It must be applicable to all. Whether you are president, you are senator, you're a representative, you're chief justice. This is what this country, you saw what happened here January 6th, investigation still ongoing. Investigating, and we see how far the investigation is going. That's the functionalities of all of the branches of government. That's the legislative branch. They're doing their work. Executive, they have nothing to do with it. Committee in the House. But if the three branches of government are not working, if one working and the other one is a handicap in terms of it work and things they're supposed to do, believe me, you care George Bush, you care Bill Clinton, you care Hillary Clinton, you care Barack Obama to be the president of the Republic of Liberia, nothing going to change. We have to ensure there are complete law and order in all of the institutions, autonomous agencies under the government, whatever they are. They must all work. No one should be above the law. Have a pleasant evening.
I just want to thank you.